to everyone. Welcome to our 2026 edition of Mama Exhale. It is a joy for us to be able to be in this space again with one another. My name is Pastor Daphne Germain LaRoche. I am one of the executive members of the Massachusetts Association of Haitian Parents. We were able to partner with Lady Kate, who is on our advisory board, to host this last year. And based on the reactions and the joy that we received from our mothers, we partnered again to do it this year. And we are so excited to launch Mama Exhale 2026. At
Yay.
this moment, I'd love to let's just give two snaps wherever you are for Mama Exhale and also for Lady Kathleen Lewis. We at this moment we're going to turn it over to her as she does the welcoming, and at the end of this event, we'll talk a little bit more about the Haitian Parents Association. Lady Kate?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for joining. I'm excited. Brenda's excited. Pastor Daphne's excited. We're excited to be back for year two. And this year it hits different because now, like, even the themes, like today's theme, I'm just like, if it's not the right time, it's not the right time, but it is so timely. The theme is caring for a woman who carries so much. The reason why Mama Exhale was created is to create a community for mothers, kingdom-minded mothers, for mothers to exhale, for mothers to like be encouraged, let you guys know that you're not by yourself. Help is here. And so we did it last year. And this year, someone, like a few of the mamas hit me up. I was like, are we going to do it this year? I really didn't plan on doing it this year, but I'm just like, why not? Why not? It's been a blessing, and I'm so happy that we get to kick it off on especially Haitian Heritage Month. Okay. Oh, I hope you guys, hear not only with your ears, but with your heart, and just get ready to receive what is going to be talked about in a few minutes. Um, and so I just want to give a little backstory about Lespille and what we do. So Lespille is a wellness business, and we're here to teach you how to pause, how to reflect, how to unplug, so you can know what's on your plate and how to manage your plate. We live in a world where everybody's moving with no sense of direction. Okay. We're not being present. There's so much stuff going on. And as women, we wear so many hats. We're wives, we're mothers, we're community leaders, we're workers, we're students. Like we carry so many hats. And so I think it's time for us, and I see it all around. I'm starting to see it around that people are now talking about wellness a little bit more and more. And I love that because I feel like God is calling his children to pause, to rest in his promises. And you can't do that if your life is loud. If your life is loud, you can't really hear him clearly. And so that's basically what we do. We do have a upcoming retreat coming from the 7th to the 9th of this year in North Andover, Massachusetts. We're going to release more information, but save the date, okay? Save the date. Say with me, save the date. Okay, 7th to the 9th, we're going to have our first wellness retreat called Breathe Again. Thank you, Rachel. You're with me. Hula avec moi. It's going to be Breathe Again. We're going to have doctors, clinicians. We're going to have nutritionists. We're going to have trainers. We're going to have everybody in the healthcare field that is going to pour into us, that is going to teach us some things and also share some resources. If you don't have a therapist, don't worry, we got you because there's going to be some at the event. And also, if you're staying overnight, we have moment of pause, clarity. You sit by the lake, it's you and God. Like we got it all laid out. All you need to do is show up. But I want to give Brenda all the time that she needs, and she's going to talk about what she does. It's a given. She's in scrubs, so you know. You know what that means? She's a nurse practitioner and she's been in her field for so long. And not only that, she has this she has a few businesses, but one of them is Haitian American Medical Association. Thank you. I got it right. And where she gives scholarship for kids who are entering the healthcare field. Like she is really breaking generational curses. Whatever God puts in you is to break generational curses, okay? But I'm not going to preach because it's not me. It's not me. So without further ado, so we're going to pass it to Brenda Lormil dash Raymond. What the people say? Yay.
Amen. Thank you so much, Lady Kate. Thank you, Miss Daphne. Thank you, everyone. I am so grateful to be here with you guys. I'm grateful for the yes that both Lady Caitlin, I'm saying Lady Daphne, I'm just going to lean into it. Lady Daphne, and the entire Respire Retreat uh, team has um, done in order to say their yes to God for this moment to happen. And I say this because it's the first day of May. But if I could be honest with you guys, April was heavy. April was heavy. And we're talking about caring for the woman who carries so much. But it was heavy in a good way. Now, I know you always use the analogy of weightlifting. I love to weightlift, and I haven't been able to do that in almost 2 years now. And that is okay. But weightlifting or lifting anything, even if you're grabbing groceries, you're picking up your kids, whatever, something heavy is not always pleasant. It doesn't feel good. But at the end of the day, your groceries are in the house. At the end of the day, that heavy baby's in the crib, they're sleeping. At the end of the day, your body, you're sweating, but you feel good. And I just want to start this conversation with saying that the weight that we carry, just know that it will serve its purpose in due time. Okay. I have a whole PowerPoint for you guys, but I couldn't start this presentation and this moment without acknowledging the goodness of God. Because even when it's heavy, God is still good. He is still good. He's still good. I want to encourage you because it's going to be a very interactive. And I know some of us are on mute, some of us are driving. Be careful, okay? But it's going to be interactive. And it's going to be just as God designed. A moment of vulnerability before we start. The reason why I said thank you for your yes, Lady Caitlin, Lady Daff, the whole Respire team, is that this is my first official speaking engagement since becoming a mom. And I had two speaking engagements with, actually now three, because the third one was today with high school students. And not that it didn't matter. They all three of those moments mattered. But in this space with women, and I was under the worst attack in April leading up to this event. And I almost canceled. I almost canceled. I almost canceled. And I said, no, 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 no. Isn't that exactly what the enemy wants? For you to be silent and hide. But this is not the season for that. And my prayer for every single one of us on this call tonight is that we leave a little bit lighter than the way we came in. Because this word, I'm not bringing information to y'all that didn't speak to me first. Like, speak to my heart. So I encourage you to open up your heart. We're going to assess, we're going to reflect, we're going to worship, We're going to testify. We're going to get right into it. All right. I think I did enough of the pause earlier because I don't want to take up any more time. We're going to pause a little bit more later on in the presentation. But before we start, I think it's appropriate to share a little bit with you guys about my motherhood journey. Um, I'll label it grief, grace, and motherhood. So um, my biological mother passed away when I was less than 2 weeks old, complications of childbirth. She is a statistic of Black maternal health. And now becoming a mom last year, April 10th of last year, I'm not going to lie to you. I held my whole pregnancy in intense fear. One thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to be a speaker and not be vulnerable. So saddle up, y'all. Okay. Intense fear. Like no one knew the fear I was carrying because what happened to my mom is that when she passed at Cambridge City Hospital here in Massachusetts, now CHA. Um, my dad, an immigrant father with limited English, all I knew growing up as a child is that she had an infection. Now, becoming a healthcare provider, I understand that infection leading to sepsis can kill you. But in terms of what happened during the pregnancy, did she have any issues with blood pressure? Did she have any issues with gestational diabetes? Although none of those details were ever known. And it never affected me until I became pregnant and the OB's asking me questions. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know what to say. So they're monitoring me, but I have no data. And but one thing that was for sure is that God God was carrying me. The only complication I had was nausea vomiting, which was tough. Rotated through 4 medications to figure out how to manage my nausea. But I ended up with pre-eclampsia and I know the Lord wants me to tell you this because I didn't know as a medical provider that you could get pre-eclampsia in postpartum. Pre-eclampsia is when your blood pressure goes up, okay? Pre is before. So in my mind, right? I should have had this blood pressure stuff way before. The day I was leaving the hospital, my blood pressure went through the roof. And they prescribed me medication and the midwife said, you could take this. I know you don't want to take meds, but I encourage you to take it. I said, all right. Went in and out of the hospital for the first 3 weeks with headaches. They thought I was having a stroke, a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, Lord, you got me this far? Pakite muy cosa. Don't let me go out like this. Like, really? That wasn't his plan. He was preparing me for something more. And I want to pause right here because, guys, if I could go back, if I can go back, I wish I did not live in such fear that entire time. I even told my mom, this is where I knew I had an issue. I told my mom, I was like, well, I got a life insurance policy here and one over there. So if something's ever to happen to me, she was like, "Stop dilapidating." She rebuked me. She said, you need to declare, "M'pap mouri ma vive." I will not die. I will live to declare the goodness of God. But trauma is real. So for those of you who became moms and didn't know where some of these emotions were coming from, man, trauma is real. And becoming a mom unhashed certain things for me. Heaviness, heavy to carry. But I gained a bonus mom. And I can't even I was typing this and I was like, I don't even know what to say. Like in proper terminology, she's my stepmother, but she is my mom. She is my best friend. Like I cannot even understand how God orchestrated a life this good and prepared this woman to step in as a role for me as my mom. And she's been a foundational piece in my life. She led our family to Christ. I was born and raised Catholic. And when my dad met my mom, she led him to Christ, which brought my whole family to Christ. She stewards, this woman stewards money like I don't even understand it, but she taught us that at such a young age. Now, did I listen all the time? That is a hard and fast no. But that woman, she'll turn pennies into dollar bills, okay? Because she got it like that. But one of the things that I appreciate the most, and I didn't understand it, the full depths of it, was until I became a wife and had to support my husband in his entrepreneurial journey. And I watched my father lose his company of millions to nothing, the height of COVID. And excuse me if I get a little emotional. And I saw my mom stand behind him, never complained, never complained. And I'm watching this, I wasn't even married yet, never complained, but took time to gracefully tell me, "Di pa fácil, no, Bren. Di pa fácil, no, Bren." Not knowing that in 2023, I'd be in the same position as her, standing behind my husband and watching him build a business that was up and down, that where he could have lost his life, money's up and down, all this stuff. And I remember going to her like, "Ma, li pa fácil, no? Di pa di ma fel. Mab just puye po." Just so I lost my biological mom, but God knew the purpose he had for my life and the purpose he had for our family. Fast forward to 2024, I experienced a miscarriage in February 2024 that rocked me to my core. I will never forget that Friday. We found out on Tuesday and lost the baby on Friday. Woke up in a pool of blood. We're all women, so I'll share. And I remember being in that bathroom sobbing, and my husband, my poor husband, he's like, "Babe, it's okay. We're just gonna call the doctor. It's gonna be," and medically, I'm like, "Oof, God, I know you could work a miracle, but this is a lot of blood." And you know what I did? I took a shower and I went to work. I could not believe I went to it. Still till this day, I don't even understand what I did at work that day, but I went to work. Went downstairs, got my labs drawn because I get seen in the same building. Went to work. And it wasn't until a few days later, if not that Monday or Tuesday, I realized the effects of it on me. Fear again. Man, I knew women that have had several miscarriages and I could never appreciate or understand. And I'm telling you ladies right now, if you ever gone through it, I sit in this with you. But if you know anybody that has gone through, please, please, please check in on them. Cause it is not easy. But thank God we serve a God who redeems and who restores, excuse me, who restores. And fast forward a year, 14 months later, our miracle baby. I call her a miracle baby because just the whole pathway of her getting into this earth and is just a miracle. And her name is Anastasia Olivia. I mean, we called her Anastasia because we named her after my bonus mom, and her middle name is Olivia. Anastasia stands for resurrection, and Olivia stands for peace. So I got my resurrected peace. Beautiful gift. I don't know what your motherhood journey looks like. I don't know how much grief, how much grace, how much love, how much joy. I don't know what it did for you, what it's doing to you right now. But motherhood, we carry that. We carry that. Before we get into anything, I love definitions and breaking down terms. And clarity does begin with defining things. And until you define a thing, you don't really understand the full depth of it. So for the title, two words jumped out to me. The title of our message, our topic of our conversation today, caring for the woman that carries so much. So to carry something, you got to support it. It's just supporting weight of something while you're trying to move it. Some groceries, you got it, but we're moving it from the car inside. That weight, you might be doing squats, you might be doing lunges, excuse me. You're supporting that weight and your body weight to get to an intended end. Um, but not all weight is bad weight. And I feel like oftentimes when we think about weight, we're always thinking about something negative in a sense. And that is not always true. But the one thing that you have to be sure of is that the weight that you carry, that God actually assigned it to you. That's what I'm learning in this season. That God actually assigned it, because when you go back to him and you talk about in Psalm 28 verse 7, like, Lord, you are my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in you and you help me. Whatever I'm asking for, I bet help for, I need to be assured that he actually assigned that weight to me. But if God assigned it, there's grace for it. But here's where it gets a little heavy, right? So weight, burden, or pressure. But just because it's heavy doesn't mean it's holy. God is not a God of disorder, but a God of peace. We have to really start asking ourselves, what are we carrying? And is it truly assigned by God? This took me out. This statement took me out. God is not glorified in our exhaustion, he's revealed in our alignment. As I got this together, as I sat there, I'm like, Lord, what is it? He's like, don't you guys ever realize Le bon Dieu du fond bagay? And I'm sorry I keep going into Creole, and I'm sorry if there's no Haitian Creole speaking people on here. I'm sure the Holy Spirit will reveal what I'm saying, but I won't be disrespectful and say it all in Creole, but I'm gonna break it down. When God is telling you to do something, don't you ever, I don't know, have you ever realized that God has asked you to do something that is so hard, but in some way, shape, form, or matter, you figured it out swiftly, quickly. The revelation just came and you got it done. That's the very thing that you feared that you wouldn't have the capacity to do. He sent people, resources. It's almost as if you didn't have to lift a finger, but you said yes. That's alignment. But you also ever start experiencing or have a time where you experience where like everything you've done, you feel like the doors are just closing one after the other. You got to pause. You really have to pause and ask yourself, like, is this the right time for this, God? Did I hear you? Go back to him, because he is not a God of disorder. And if he said it, he's going to do it. But I think sometimes we get timing messed up a little bit. I want you guys to take a second. I know there's some of you guys who are driving, and I have a PowerPoint, but I'm speaking it out to you. And I want us to do this quick exercise, and you guys could take a picture of the screen, do whatever you have to do, because I do believe after, like, we're here for a moment, but I really want you to sit with this. Take some time this weekend, this week, this upcoming week. I want us to name what we're carrying. And I'm not talking about your titles. Like, I love and respect all of you guys. I'm really not talking about your titles. You're a wife, you're an entrepreneur, caregiver. I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about the things that you probably can't even talk about. Now, whatever you have, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, and I want you to be honest. I want us to take a moment. I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to make it complicated. Literally, whatever comes to your mind, I want you to either write it down or speak to yourself. If you're driving, you can't write right now, whatever you're doing. If you're washing dishes, folding laundry, whatever you're doing, I want you to ask yourself, what am I carrying in this season? What comes to mind immediately? What am I carrying in this season? I'm talking about responsibility, certain relationships, pressure, disappointment, certain hopes. What am I carrying in this season? Don't justify it. Don't make it complicated. We're going to pause right here. Just name it. What am I carrying in this season? And I'm going to give you a few minutes. What are you carrying in this season? What immediately comes to mind? I'm going to say do 3 or 5 of those. The first 3 to 5 things that come to mind. What are you carrying? We give 30 more seconds. And now that you've gathered your list, your 3 to 5, I want you to label it. I want you to grade it. Excuse me, not label it. I want you to grade it. I want you to assess it. From 1, 2, or 3. I want you to sit here and really ask yourself, is what I'm carrying, number 1, assigned? I believe that this has been entrusted to me in this season. Or number 2, you're unclear. I'm carrying this, but I'm not sure it's mine to hold or resolve. Or 3, release. This feels heavy and I recognize it may not be mine to carry and I need to let it go. 1, it's assigned to you. You know it's assigned to you. You're supposed to have it. God confirmed. 2, you're not sure. You are not sure. And 3, it's not yours. And don't feel any type of way. This is only between you and the Lord. I want you to take some time. Take a little bit of time. Because the truth is, some of the stuff that we've picked up out of love, picked up in a moment of survival. Some of us picked up some things because no one else was picking it up. Some of us picked up some things out of pressure, guilt. There's some things we should have released a long time ago. Where are you? And again, tonight is not it's not about perfection. It's not about guilt, it's about awareness. What are we carrying? And is it truly assigned? Or is it time to go back and seek God for confirmation or revelation? Or do we need to release altogether? But in all of it, the core question tonight, and I don't want to take too much time just talking, is how do we care for the woman that carries so much? How do you care for you, the woman that carries so much? In addition to all the titles, in addition to everything else, how do you care for her? How do we break down her? We're going to hide in the presence of God. And oftentimes people feel like this is cliche. It's really not, y'all. If we really are going to carry what God has assigned to us, we need to be in his presence. You're going to empty out what weighs you down with no guilt, no shame, and you're going to refill intentionally. And I love what Lady Caitlin said earlier today about Respire. Respire teaches you how to slow down. Yes, ma'am. Write that down, Kimberly. How do you care for her? You're going to hide in the presence of God. You're going to empty what weighs you down. You're going to refill intentionally. As we hide, for all of my Haitian Creole speaking women, cachez-moi, hide. En bas zèlou, couvris-moi avec mes puissants tout. Cachez-moi en bas zèlou, couvris-moi. For the woman that carries so much, first marching orders, hide yourself in his presence. In your word, you're fasting, you're praying. That's the only way you get revelation to understand if what you're carrying is actually assigned to you. I struggled with the Lord so bad because he gave me a revelation in April that he asked me to share. I said, Lord, I'm not, mm-mm. He said, do what you want. And I want to be obedient. And I'm going to share a testimony with you guys, a revelation that the Lord had to really check me on. And I'm sure all of you guys have gone on trips before and you've gone to the airport. Um, and the Lord was revealing to me, he said, Brenda, in this season, there are things that go, there are things that can't go. But I want to show you something. If you ever have flown to international or to Haiti or wherever, oftentimes we bring bigger bags. The Lord said, I'm teaching you something. And in this season, there are bags that you're carrying. And I believe that this goes for a lot of you guys who are here or listening. And the Lord said, when you get up to the initial first counter where they're printing out your boarding passes, that's where they weigh the bags. Some bags are too heavy and you have to take some things out and put them in another bag. But then sometimes there's not enough space for things to go in other bags. So you have to take it out and hopefully the person that dropped you off, if you got dropped off, is able to come back and grab some things. If you've never had this experience with your parents, bless your heart. I've had way too many of them as a child. And then there's some bags that just can't go at all. God said, in this season, I'm going to need you to discern what's going to go, what's over the weight limit, what needs to come off. But it's not just that. It's not just that. Now, when you move on, you think you're all set and you got your bags checked, and that's great. Now you move on and you go through TSA security. The Lord revealed to me, said, Brenda, for a very long time, you've been as stale as the metal detector that people walk through. I'm going to explain it to you. Alarms are going off. People are coming in. People are coming out. You see it. You hear it. But the action behind it is non-existent. I'm upgrading you. Y'all ever pass TSA and that person, they are God's children, but whatever. They're at the end of the line and they're screaming, who's this bag for? Who is this bag for? And they're loud and almost obnoxious. And that's how we feel because it's like, all right, just whoever's coming is going to come. But that's not their concern. They're just trying to identify who this bag belongs to because something in this bag seems real suspicious. But the person who's trying to figure out who the bag's for has no permission to open the bag without the person who the bag belongs to is present. And I'm sure some of y'all, it was you. It was me at one point. Mes amis, yo la ge valisa tête en bas. They got they dismantled the bag looking for whatever they were looking for. But they did a thorough check. The Lord said, I'm going to upgrade you. And I believe some of y'all ladies on the call tonight, the Lord is upgrading you to the person who is at the end of the line doing the final check. Who is this bag for? Who is coming in and out of my life? What is coming in and out of my life that is not supposed to go on this flight? That is not supposed to be on this mission. God is upgrading y'all to be discerning, to say, what are they carrying? Because as he told it to me and he's given me permission to share it with you, he's been on the runway for a very long time, waiting for you to board this plane. And he's not waiting no more. God has been running circles, laps, waiting for you. No more. He wants you light for the flight. See, if you're too heavy, you can't ascend. You're weighed down by things that don't even matter, that served their purpose a long time ago, that was never yours to carry, and you can't ascend. You can't ascend. You cannot ascend. God wants you light, ladies, for the flight. How do you empty out what weighs you down? You got to learn how to name it. We started that. I pray you continue that. I know I am. And not just as an exercise today. Assess yourself monthly, quarterly. What are you carrying? Name it. Release what's not assigned to you. My goodness. Set boundaries that actually protect your capacity. You don't have to say yes to everything. And if no one else is doing it and they can't find someone, guess what? If the Lord didn't tell you to do it, don't pick it up. Don't pick it up. Don't pick it up. I love this next one. Stop overcommitting yourself to prove your worth. You're worthy. Even if you didn't do one thing, you are worthy, period. Limit access to people and things that add unnecessary weight. How do you refill intentionally? The first one I absolutely love. Return to God for clarity before taking on more. Just because someone offered you an opportunity or offering you to do this or offering you an upgrade and offering you a promotion, that does not mean it's yours to take, it's yours to carry. Create space for rest. Stay plugged into Respire. Stay plugged into your wellness. Be intentional about it. But you also want to protect it because here's the thing, right? We do all these things for our spouses, our children, our parents, our friends, our girlfriends. The brunch dates are on the calendar, the appointments, the doctor's appointments are on the calendar, the social events are on the calendar. Is your intentional time to refill on your calendar? Non-negotiable. I'm learning this. Don't make it complicated. Whatever it is that can fit your life right now, start there. We're never going to have enough time. That's how to remind myself. We're never going to have enough time. I think I started saying this in the beginning. Like, I love weightlifting. I love weightlifting. Guess what I got at home? I got dumbbells. They go from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Guess what else I have at home? I have a walking pad. Guess what else the Lord had blessed me with? 2 legs. Guess what else is free? The air outside. And I've made excuses and excuses like, Lord, I just want to get back into the gym. I just want to get back to the, because I do. And I don't know anybody else to get on a Stairmaster. I love the Stairmaster. Actually, before that loss I had in February 2024, the day before I was on the Stairmaster for an hour and I was convinced. I told my OB, I was like, was it the Stairmaster? She was like, girl, no. I was like, it had to be the Stairmaster. I had never gone on Stairmaster since February 2024. Guess what I'm doing? I'm gonna get me on a Stairmaster before June 1st. But I don't need the Stairmaster per se, right? You know what the Lord told me? He was like, well, you work on the 7th floor of the Yaki building. There's the elevator and there's also stairs. Every time I come to work now, I take the stairs up. I am dying at the top. I take the stairs. I'm intentional. Now that seems very minimal, but it's a victory for me because guess who wasn't taking the stairs before? But those are the things that I'm telling you, like, don't make it complicated. Do not make your resets, the things that pour into you, the things that make you better, the things that motivate you, do not negotiate them. You need to put them on your calendar. You need to protect it. Because the same way you show up for everybody and you're on time for all the appointments, all the social events, all the doctor's appointments, all the follow-ups, all the this, all the that, all that. You are intentional, you are on time, you follow up. Eumim. How about yourself? Let's get intentional and put it on the calendar. Block it off, ladies. I have a few closing remarks for you guys. I'm just gonna have everybody just close your eyes real quick. Dear mama, you were built for such a time as this. You are capable of carrying what God assigned. You are equipped even in the moments you feel empty. You are covered even when you feel overwhelmed. You can rest without guilt. You do not have to prove your strength by overextending yourself. You are allowed to choose peace over pressure, and always remember, what God assigns, He also sustains. Thank you, ladies.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We thank you, dear sister Brenda, for such a powerful presentation, even incorporating in that moment of worship, a moment of pause for all of us that are here. We thank you. For those of you who are here again, this is Pastor Daphne Jermaine LaRoche. I'm one of the executive members for the Haitian Parents Association for Massachusetts, a co-sponsor for this event. We are going to open up for some Q&A. Have questions or follow-ups? We saw some wonderful comments in the chat. If you have a question or a follow-up, a comment, we are opening it up to you at this moment to be able to share what the Lord has on your heart. And as we say, introducing yourself, just use your first name and just let us know where you're coming from, and then go on ahead and ask your question. And as we wait for folks to ask their questions, I had one. When you were talking about hiding in God's presence, the thought that came into me is the power of getting quiet. You know, silencing all the noise that is around us, not just by like the physically of turning off the cell phone, the TVs, but the quieting of your own mind as women when we overthink, we overplan. What are some of your experiences with your practice of how do you quiet your mind?
You know, it's interesting because I was just telling a group of high school juniors and seniors how I absolutely love driving in total silence. And my husband thinks I am so weird. He's like, "You don't want a little bit of music?" And nope, nope, nope. And believe it or not, those are the moments where I spend time with God. But the way I know I need to silence my mind is when my mind starts racing and I know my thoughts are taken over. They're almost like not making sense because it's like I know when it's from me and I know when it's of God. When God is delivering a revelation to you, there's peace with it. Even if it's scary and it's shaking it, there's peace. There is peace.
Mhm.
The other thing I'm learning to, when we talk about prayer, I'm learning to talk less and just sit in silence with the Lord. It can be uncomfortable because we're so used to just saying things all the time, all the time, all the time, and asking. But learning the practice of sitting in silence in the presence of God, inviting Him into your space, whether it's in the car, whether you're home, whether it's your prayer closet, whether it's your office space, no matter where you are, we need to learn how to not always have something to say and let him talk to us, because he speaks in different ways. That moment of worship, for example, that we had earlier, the Lord was like, these are the songs you're going to sing. I was like, how am I going to fit this into the presentation? And I just sat, I remember just sitting there. He said, remember when you're giving the description of hiding? What do all these songs have in common, Brenda? The word cache-moi, hide. But this whole presentation it came together in pieces. But
Mm-hmm.
the impactful pieces, I had to get quiet because this is really not about me. So just learning how to not always have to say something, and don't feel embarrassed if you like your quiet. Man, we do so much, like so much. There's someone asking us for everything. We're around people all the time. It's okay to be quiet and be still in his presence.
Love that answer. We have a hand up from Kimberly DeRavin. Kimberly?
Hello, ladies. Yeah, I just wanted to say, I'm glad that Brenda gave us that reminder because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I find myself doing the opposite where I'm hiding in my problems and hiding from like God because I'm so overwhelmed or it feels like so many things are out of my control. And sometimes you just feel like you're sinking and you kind of lose your focus and I don't know, you just find yourself so wrapped up in just the challenges and everything that's going on. So I really needed that reminder. Um, kind of go back to doing the opposite and make sure I'm hiding myself in God's presence instead of like, putting all my focus on what's actually going on and turning everything else off and just being in his presence.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. That is such a powerful reminder. We can so easily get our eyes focused on the problems. And then si pour nous ta dit gen problem, there are problems, there are situations and circumstances that we can easily get lost in. Thank you so much, Kimberly. And again, if you would like to say a word, please feel free. I am going to put on camera. She's going to be surprised that I'm putting her on camera. She's going to be like, why are you doing that, Daphne? But I'd like to say hello to Miss Kathy Jean Lewis, who is here with us, a beautiful sister that I'm not going to say how many moons ago. We had an initiative called Women of WMCM, Women of Women Christian Ministries, and we used to do retreats for women. And I'm just so happy to see her. I don't know if she wants to say a word or two, Kathy.
So, hello, everyone. I am very grateful to be here with you all. Someone actually invited me to this, and they're like, you should come. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come. Because it has been, like Daphne said, many moons ago when I was able to participate in such things. It's just beautiful to see. Like, it's beautiful to be here. Sister Brenda, thank you for sharing your word. Thank you for, I'm glad that you had an opportunity to share what was in your heart with all those here. God knows who that message was for. And I am just, again, I'm just super grateful. Seeing just, yeah, I'm super grateful to be here. And it's reassuring, like listening to your word. My word for myself for this year and everybody who's around me is pause. We're reactive. It's in our DNA. Something happens, you gotta move. Something's happening, you gotta go. Pause. Sometimes in the pause is when you hear. We move so fast when something's happening. Sometimes don't react. Why do you have to answer now? Just stop. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And you had time to process. You get quiet because it's like, stop. Because you know you got to go through the motions. You heard what you said. You see the situation. You're gonna start going through the, and it's in those moments when we tend to jump back, pause. And so just hearing that your word and what you shared and everything, I'm just like, yeah, it reassures me because I'm like, in this season for my life, and I'll shut up after this. In this season in my life, it has been heavy. One of the things when we were writing down the things that are heavy is stepping back from this kind of ministry. And you get everybody in the mama. God's gonna take your gift. You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do that. Da, 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 da. And at first it works. It's true if I don't exercise. But I was like, wait a minute. According to the word, my first ministry is my home. I need to pause. There will be other women just like me when I was young and had capacity to do all of this. I was in it. Daphne knows we were all in it. We're all over the street. But God has asked me to pause, and I will. And being obedient to the pause. That's the heavy part, is watching. And God doesn't call you to move now. You know it's coming, but it's not now. And I have to be okay with that. And I have to know when other people come around and the noise happens, you ain't doing this no more. You ain't doing this no more. You ain't on my road. I'm nobody's monkey. I get it. Everybody likes to see you up there jumping around. God's telling me to pause, and I hear him. You'll be all right. There'll be somebody else to do that work. There'll be somebody else. And when my time comes to come back again, I'll be better equipped. I will have what I need. I will be in the season where God is calling me to push forward so that I'm beneficial. I don't want to go up there to make people feel good. Any and everything we do, if it does not affect change, it is not of God. Everything of God it bears a fruit. And if I'm just sitting there giving the feel good and then I go home depleted and empty and tired, God's not calling me to that right now. And I'm okay with that. And it took time to get there. So I appreciate this platform. I thank you guys, and I look forward to the rest of the days, and hopefully I can attend the rest. Thank you guys.
Can I follow up? Sorry. Sister Kathy, bless your heart. And I want to just say this really quick. So if we don't pause, right, the Lord will pause us. Okay, he will. And I say this from a place of, I mean, I didn't understand. I understood like maternity leave, right? But it's so interesting, like when you actually can't really, you got to take care of a baby. You got to do all these things. But I had to forcefully pause. Like I couldn't just have a baby and run back to all the stuff that I had to do. But in the pausing of maternity leave, that's when God started to reveal a whole different side of my business to me that I could not. I got pieces before this baby, but it was in the maternity leave with the swollen feet, up and down, up and down at the hospital, that he's like, listen, this is where I'm calling you to. This is where we're going. Something I was trying to do for 2 years, I did in 6 weeks.
Look at God.
In the pause. So I come alongside Kathy and I said, Kathy, thank you for sharing that, because just because you're not moving doesn't mean you're not moving.
You see,
it's still working. Kathy,
God
you're
is
doing the
so
work right
amazing.
now. You're doing the work right now, Kathy.
Amen. Oh, we thank you. We thank the Lord for all of these insights. I don't know. There was one comment that I wanted to highlight from Rachel from Florida. She says, I used to feel guilty saying no, especially when it came to ministry or friendships. But God revealed that when I carried on too much, it became overwhelming and was time draining. Season is officially up. It's time to board the flight light and do the work he's called me to do. God, you gotta love it. And I think that's the word as we're entering into May and we're having 4 more sessions of just pausing, exhaling, letting it all out in this month of May, letting God reset us as mothers, reset us as women with so many hats. But the biggest question is, are we wearing the right hat for the season that we're in? Oh, for just a quick note for us, for Massachusetts Association of Haitian Parents, We are here to help support our parents across Massachusetts to be present and be active in their child's life. We support our kids from K to 16, so all the way from kindergarten all the way up to college. We support our kids in looking for scholarships all the way up to a doctorate level. Every June, we celebrate our graduates. So if you have kids in your church or in your community that are graduating for 2026, in June, we are going to be hosting our celebration at Roxbury Community College. That's also posted on our Facebook. Register for the kids. We buy them gifts, and we also allow them to sign up for membership with MHP. Our Director of Student Support Services, Miss Emmy Valsin, is our person who works with these students, and they follows them throughout their college, just so that they know that they have someone of them, for them, supporting them. So MHP is here. If you're a parent, join us, like us, and then you'll be able to get access to all of the services that we provide. And to close us out, Lady Catlin, Brenda, God bless you.
Yeah. Tonight was special. I mean, special. I love when God is pouring, loving on his daughters, giving them reminders, not only of his presence, but also the next step. So, Brenda, hats off to you. You did amazing. We give all glory to God. And please settle yourself because you're gonna do the final prayer. You're gonna pray for the mamas that's online. Um, but I'm excited. I'm gonna be excited every Thursday from here on out. The topics are so good. So next Thursday, on our Mama Exhale, the theme is building what outlives you. And we're going to have Katia Ira, who is going to come and speak, share her journey. And I think the series is so fitting because it starts by number one, letting go things that you're not meant to carry, for making space for what God is doing. Because what you're doing, not only it affects you, but your children's children as well. And so Katia will talk about that. And I'm excited. So, like Pastor Daphne said, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. It is free. Okay. It is free registration. It's free. It's free, free 99. Okay. Don't worry about